Hello Dumaguete, hello Negros Oriental, and hello Sillimanians around the world. This is Joshua Soldivillo and you're watching #Silliman. For Silliman updates, congratulations to this year's Valentine Songwriting Competition finalists. Shout out to Chris Aguilar of the College of Engineering and Design for his song Closer. Embraced by Richel Dayan Bagayas of the Silliman University Medical Students Association. Forever Nata Please by Heaven Quaresma of the College of Business Administration. Mahay by Adrian Ray Orsiada of CED. Seasons by Jeremiah Peel of the College of Arts and Sciences. Stay Here by Carl James Kaburatan of the College of Performing and Visual Arts. And finally, To Love Anew by Noreen Tabalok, IRS, and Boy to Angelo Laviste of the College of Engineering and Design. Once again, congratulations. Continue to spread love and joy in the hymns of your music. Do you have the passion for making videos? You got a brilliant idea? Turn that into 1-minute video blog and be the next 1-minute long video blogger sensation. Submit your entry to the 1-minute educational video contest brought to you by the Dr. Mariano Lau ICI Laboratory and Digital Library for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics of SU Library System. And get the chance to win 3,000 pesos cash. Visit the Facebook page of Dr. Mariano Lau Innovation, Creation, and Invention Laboratory for more details. Meanwhile, as part of the library's initiative to enhance the teaching-learning relationship among the 21st century stakeholders through collaboration with various colleges, programs, and departments, the Silliman University Library invites you to their first e-talk of the second semester entitled Why Community-Based Research with Dr. Enrique Oracion, the current director of Silliman University Research Development Center, this February 23, 2022 from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. See you there and let's learn research. This is a program initiated to discuss matters concerning the campus by the sea. You're watching #Silliman. Good evening, friends, Sillimanians around the world. Thank you for joining our episode tonight. I hope you enjoy the celebration of your Valentine's Day. You feel the love of your loved ones, your family, friends, peers, from your teachers, and your classmates. For tonight's episode, we are going to discuss matters concerning our classes, enrollment, admissions, and all of that. So allow me to introduce our first guest tonight. He is the University Registrar, and he is Dr. Giovanni Macahig. Sir, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Josh, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me to this show.
Right. The second guest is one of the soul divas of the Silliman Online University Learning. I'm so happy to have her tonight in the show, Assistant Professor Alfie Q. Arcelo. Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening, Sir Josh, and nice to be here. This is my first time in #Silliman, and I hope to be able to share updates in Seoul.
Right. So let's start the ball rolling and let me ask Dr. Macahig first. Dr. Macahig, as of speaking, is our enrollment still ongoing?
Unfortunately, it's already closed. However, for those who had started with their enrollment process, they are still continuing up to this date.
Okay. So what are the statistics so far of our enrollment this second semester, sir?
In our report, we usually compare it with the first semester of this school year
right,
and the second semester of last school year. For the second semester of last school year compared to this school year, we are already at 99.1%. For the first semester and against the second semester, we are about 94% already in our enrollment. Right. So it's a positive sign, and yet it's also a challenging one for our students.
So is it safe to say also, Assistant Professor Arcelo, that the number of enrollees that we have would be the same number of users in our SOUL platform? Or do we have more users?
Less, as of now, we have like 12,400 something users in Seoul, and yeah, it actually coincides with the percentages just given by Dr. Jake here. So yeah, more or less it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that this is not the first time that we're talking about online distance learning and a pandemic. In fact, it has been 2 years. But I just want to know again from the Silliman Online University Learning Department, how did it change the SOUL as a platform, as an LMS, as a team, as a department? How did the pandemic? Did it improve? Did it expand? Did it maximize?
Yeah, so SOUL actually started out in 2008, but it didn't take off that well, maybe because learning management system wasn't a term that was very familiar to us by then. It was still very foreign to us, but we have actually revitalized SOUL when Dr. McCann took office. It was part of her platforms to have a learning management system for the university. That's why SOUL was revitalized. And then we were also grouped as a department with the computer studies department. And then that was the time also that strategic plans came in, that we have to have our main mission, and that is to augment the integration of ICT in the learning and teaching process and the environment of the university, as well as we have to collaborate with the departments in order for us to be able to have a more student-centered, more outcomes-based, and whole-person education. So that's actually our evolution in SOUL.
Wow, I think the pandemic is, there's always a positive side of the coin, right?
Yes, because it was the progress of the supposed long-term goal of the university of online distance learning actually came into reality because of the pandemic. It's not something that we are thankful for, but at least we were a bit ready with the learning management system.
So at least we didn't really have to start from square one, because we already have something to begin with. So speaking of update, digitization, upgrading into the digital space, I think one of the objectives also for the forthcoming years of the University Registrar is to include the SBE education, is to continue upgrading computerization program for your records and documentation. So what are the steps so far taken by your office to achieve this goal as well?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to commend my predecessor, Dr. Rivera, who had a vision really of wanting to make the office of the registrar and admission as more automated and system oriented. So, but with the pandemic, it has somehow accelerated all this because of the need. So we were able to automate some of the requirements, some of the needs of our students, like for example, the clearance system. Wherein before you go around with your clearance sheet and you go around to the different
go around with your friends in the different colleges.
And that's a enjoyable part, but with the pandemic it has limited our access. So we have a program, and you can access this at the universityclearance.su.edu.ph, and you can apply for clearance online. Next, we also had, of course, just recently we launched our online request system, wherein you can request online all the documents. Interestingly, nowadays, the delivery of documents are now done by email or scan. So, and also the requests are usually done by emails, but we try to make it more comfortable and easy for our students and our alumni stakeholders also to request online. And so we asked the help of MIS, and they also did their part, and we were able to use that just recently for our students.
So basically, those who are, like, for example, abroad, in a different country, they can now do their transaction request via online. They can simply visit the Silliman University website and
Yes.
find the right links there.
Yes, they can request and they can monitor the progress of their request
Wow.
because there is a tracking system that the student can also check from time to time.
Yes. But Dr. Jake, how about for the fees? I believe some documents would require some fees for it to be released for at some cost. So how would they do that?
There are corresponding fees, and there is a little adjustment to the fees at the moment, and but it's very minimal. The adjustment is really for the upgrades.
Right.
And what is interesting is that you can always request to have it picked up, or you can
okay.
always request to have it mailed.
Right. So there's always this component of convenience, no,
Yes,
to our
yes,
students, right? I think that's very wonderful. So let me go back to Ma'am Alfie here of SOUL, right? So Ma'am Alfie, so far, what have been the challenges of
Yeah.
our SOUL office? Because especially that it's difficult, I think, to adapt, no?
Yeah.
Both for the students and the teachers. So what have been the initiatives of SOUL to assist, no, and help them adapt to these changes?
Yeah. So especially in the first year, no. So in the on the part of the teachers, the learning curve in using the platform.
Yeah.
It was actually very challenging, in as much as we were quickly drawn to do ODL.
Right.
So what we did, no, so we had like aside from the university-wide training that we had for SOUL, we also had to do or strategize needs-based trainings for our teachers in order for us to at least help them out in dealing with ODL and, of course, improving their own virtual classrooms. That's in the side of the teachers. Initially, there was like a digital divide, no, between teachers and
Yeah,
students,
the gap.
knowing that our students are digital natives and our teachers are trying to cope up with the demands of ODL. But of course, it doesn't mean that the students didn't have their issues or problems as well.
Right.
Even if they are digital natives, they still had problems in maybe adjusting,
Yes.
adjusting to using the online platform for academic purposes, maybe because they're used to it, for entertainment,
Social
for,
media.
yeah, for social
Right.
media. So that was also a challenge for them. So what we did is we have to post FAQs. We also had YouTube tutorials because with the advent of DIYs,
Yeah.
I know the students would be
They can follow
they
it.
could just follow it.
Right.
And of course, they could reach us always through the chat box found in our platform. So we have to cater to both students and teachers in order for ODL to really progress and do well.
So, by any chance, Dr. Jake, were you able also to kind of connect some processes or let's say some documentation processes of the University Registrar's office to SOUL? I mean, was there a time that you also sought assistance from SOUL, or did you also request to be part of SOUL? I mean, of the SOUL platform?
Well, at the start of the pandemic, really the need of the LMS or SOUL
Yeah.
has been optimized. We really work with SOUL, with Dr. Dave and the team of SOUL to really address, because there is the delivery of the enrollment from the enrollment system to the SOUL platform. So it has to be synchronized, it has to be in consonance with each other. And so we communicate regularly, and in fact we formed a team
Yes.
to address the needs of our students during the time, because I think there was this a bit of a, like this, it was said it was a gap, and
Yeah.
there was still that trying to get acquainted with the system. So we were flooded with emails and sometimes calls.
Yeah.
And it numbered into hundreds. So we had to do something that we had to team up and try to address. And so we were able to overcome those challenges.
Yeah, because I believe it was not only our students and our teachers who also had to adjust, but even the offices of the university also had to adjust, right?
Yeah.
And it's good that we're seeing some synergies, no, between offices. And I think that's very healthy. So far, Ma'am Alfie, what are the common concerns of our students when it comes to their SOUL classroom? And especially, I believe that concerns really are many when the classes has just begun, right? So far, what are the common troubles?
It's like a perennial issue, especially from the students, maybe especially if they are first-timers, they're excited to see their virtual classrooms. We usually get chats and even emails that they have not seen, or they have not seen their virtual classrooms, even if they're registered in SOUL. So we have to tell them, to inform them that they have to be officially enrolled in mySilliman in order for them to see and view their virtual classrooms in SOUL. So that is one thing. Another one is for our students, they have the tendency, maybe they're carried away also while they're in SOUL. They have the tendency to use a chat box for SOUL, even when they have to communicate with their teacher. So we have to tell them that please do, make use of the chat or the communication medium for your teachers, and that's found at the lower left corner instead of the lower right corner. So those are actually they are just manageable nowadays. They're manageable already, especially because we understand that these are just ways, or these are just part of the process in our learning journey with, of course, the students.
Right. So actually, Ma'am Alfie, I'm very interested to know about the how do you call this one? Usage rate of SOUL in the different times of the day.
Yes.
Like, for sure, we can see the statistics there, whether the usage is much more predominant in the morning, in the afternoon, or even after midnight, right?
Yes.
So we'll talk about that, all of that and more when #Silliman returns. Welcome back, and you're still watching #Silliman, and still with us are the two pillars of the ODL or Online Distance Learning, Dr. Macahig and Assistant Professor Alcero. So let's go back to my question, Ma'am Alcero, about the usage rate of our students of our platform. When do they usually access their classroom? I'm very curious to know about this.
Yes, I think that's also a curiosity that everyone is actually thinking, no? I won't place it in percentage or rate. I will just place peaks so that you'd have an idea. So the highest peak of SOUL usage is at 8 a.m.
In the morning?
In the morning,
wow.
Yes. So 8 a.m., that's the highest one, maybe because they usually classes start, most of the classes really start at 8 a.m. Not just for the synchronous sessions, but students would want to like go to school by visiting their virtual classroom at 8 a.m., looking into their assignments or looking into their asynchronous activities. It's at 8 a.m. and then the second peak is at 10 a.m., maybe with a shift of classes from one class to another. Yeah, and then it decreases around noontime, and then it goes back, it increases again, it peaks at 1 o'clock because that's the official start of classes.
In the afternoon.
And then in the afternoon, and then it slowly decreases until 7 p.m.
Okay. Maybe they're eating their dinner.
Yeah, they'd have dinner at 7, so it's like number of users is low at that time, and then there's a slight increase from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Perhaps doing their assignments.
Perhaps doing their assignments, teachers also updating their virtual classrooms.
Yeah.
And then by 11 p.m. onwards, no, we cannot really say that SOUL is inactive because there are still users. Though, there are still users. Though it's really not as many, no. But in the 24 hours that we have, SOUL really has users logged into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an amazing information to know, and I think that shows that they're trying to establish a system, no, so to speak, that when they wake up in the morning and perhaps do some freshening stuff and then eat their breakfast, they go ahead to their classrooms and check what are the activities for the day or for the week.
Yes,
right?
I think they have already established their ODL management scheduling.
Wow. So I'd like to go now to Dr. Macahig because it's not how they call this one. It's inevitable not to have some INCs, to have NGs. So before, I could remember my classmates who had INCs, they would go to their department and they will have to fill out this form, etc. But given this ODL, the pandemic, and of course we're very strict about the entry in the university, what is now our scheme? What is the procedure of this, Dr. Macahig?
Well, for completion of INCs, we had to be innovative and we had to adjust. We use the email.
Okay.
And we still go through with the process, process from the college level. Then the college would forward it to us. Then we make the proper updating of the grades. So that's the process.
If we will try to put it side by side, do you think that the technology that you're using right now makes it more effective and efficient?
At the moment, that could be the most effective way. But we are always looking forward to improving the system, and we would even want it automated if possible.
Yeah.
So, the registrar's office, aside from admission and repository of records, you are also handling the how do you call this one, application for the academic scholarships. So, Dr. Jik, please share to us very briefly what is the academic scholarship all about, who are qualified to be part of the academic scholarship program of the universities, what are the benefits, and do we have some important dates to note?
Okay, so I think at the outset, there is a need for a clarification. There's a difference between the honors and academic honors,
Yeah.
and academic scholarship.
Scholarship.
Okay.
Okay.
The academic honors has its own guidelines,
Mm-hmm.
and academic scholarship has its own guidelines also.
Right.
But you would notice that when you are an honor student, you could qualify for honors academic scholarships. So for academic scholarships, you need to apply. That's the
Right.
first thing that you need to
So
do.
it's not automatic.
It's not
That if
automatic.
you're an honor student,
Yes.
you'll get that.
So
Okay.
I think they were wondering why they need to for SBE they need to send a letter
Uh-uh.
and apply for it, because that is separate from the academic honors. So we have academic scholarship for junior high school, for senior high school, and for the college level, and they have different criterias. And we have entrance honor scholarship for junior high school, valedictorian, salutatorian. Then entrance level for senior high school, the top 4 of the graduating class. And for college level, there's also the requirement. We also have continuing academic scholarship for continuing students, and you have to maintain a certain grade. And so you need to apply every semester for this academic scholarship. So the academic scholarship is now open, and it starts at the beginning of after the opening of the first class. Then it will close at sometime in the first week of March. Okay, it's about 4 weeks.
4 weeks. Yeah.
So for our students, you can log in your application. Just visit our website.
Wow.
Okay.
So even because before, before I also used to apply for that scholarship, no? So before we used to write a letter and perhaps fill out this form, and we submit it
Yes.
to the registrar. But right now, at your own desk, you can do your application by
Yes.
just visiting the university website.
Yes,
Wow. Very convenient, no? So I'd like to go now to Assistant Professor Alcero, because Dr. Macahig earlier mentioned that we have clients also from the SBE, from the junior high school, senior high school, as well as elementary. And our students from SBE definitely needs supervision, guidance. So in our platform, SOUL, how does parental guidance is observed, or do they have this access to their accounts, or are they being given notices every now and then?
Okay, so it could also start within the classroom. So teachers could also have like internal arrangements with the parents, maybe have a group chat with them. Of course, especially for early childhood and the primary graders,
Yes.
we also have we have initiated trainings and even webinars for
Wow.
parents through the Dr. Mariana Lau free computer education, so that they would also adjust,
Yes.
and they would efficiently assist their students, no?
Right.
So but most of the times when it comes to the access, no, the access, we are still working out with MIS on how both students and of course parents would be able to access it, so that the teachers could, the parents could monitor their students, no?
Right.
So hopefully that we will be able to give the ultimate solution maybe for the next semester to come.
Wow. So I think the parents also have really a very big role to play, no? Especially
Yes.
for the primary graders, because
Yes.
they just started school, and I think the trainings that you mentioned
Yes.
is very helpful. So I think we don't have any time anymore. We only have 30 minutes for the episode. I just want to ask both of you, what do you think is the future of our educational system? Is SOUL here to stay? And what would be the changes with respect to the admissions and of course our records and documentation? I'd like to begin with Dr. Macahig.
Well, they say that it's not anymore going back to the normal, but the
Right.
new normal.
Okay.
And I'm seeing several changes. What is interesting is that we have the cross boundaries. We have more enrollees coming from different countries
Right.
because of
Yeah.
this online delivery. And so we have to optimize that opportunity
Okay.
because that is also one area that we can also cater in aside from our regular market deliveries. So I think that the future of online will stay.
Yeah.
But there would be modifications later on when the face-to-face scenario will come in.
Yeah, so I think that's a huge difference, no?
Yeah.
That we're able to cater students, no, abroad and be able to be in school, to become a Sillimanian at the same time, but being in the Middle East, even in the Western countries. No, I have even students who attends my class from Saudi Arabia. No, so that's so fascinating. How about you, Assistant Professor Alcero? How far do you think this SOUL, the online distance learning, could go?
Okay, so for sure, definitely, SOUL is here to stay. In the first place, SOUL wasn't created for the pandemic. It is really something to answer to the needs of distance education. In fact, as of this time, Dr. Marshall, our director, is in a meeting processing the application of distance education. So that means we're here to stay in online distance learning. So even if there's face-to-face, we really have our own set of offerings that's purely online.
Wow. So I believe the pandemic really and the ODL is something that changes everything. It's a game changer, so to speak. Right. So perhaps let's end the episode by sharing your contact information should our students have concerns or question, or perhaps they'd like to avail some of your services. Perhaps let's begin with our SOUL Diva, Assistant Professor Alcero.
Okay, so you can contact us in so many different ways. So we have our phone number. It's 422-6002. Our local numbers are 418 and 417. You can email us at mysoul@su.edu.ph and soul@su.edu.ph. And while you are in mySOUL, you could actually send us a message through the lower right corner of the main page. So you could chat us and ask about anything about SOUL. You could also visit our website, which is soul-su.weebly.com. We have a teacher's corner there, and we also have a student's corner there.
Wonderful. Dr. Jake.
Well, you could call us at 422-6002, local lines 259-260 for your concerns with regards to documents, and 245 for the Office of the Registrar. You can also email us at ora@su.edu.ph, and you can always look at our services in our website. Just look for Registrar and Admissions.
All right, daghang salamat, Assistant Professor Alfie Q. Arcelo from the Silliman Online University Learning Department, and Dr. Giovanni Macahig, our University Registrar. So we have come again to the last segment of our show tonight. It's called #WTP Word to Ponder. So I'm actually missing my partner, Ronelyn. If you're watching, get well soon, and I hope to see you next week. Join me, please. So I think the word for me to ponder at this episode is change, right? Because listening to their experiences and updates of their respective departments, change is really something that happened. No? At the same time, we have this saying that change is the only constant thing in the world. And so we have just to deal with it, adjust, embrace, move forward, and live life to the fullest. And that's the word to ponder for tonight. Thank you very much, and to God be the glory. Hey there, Sillimanians! Daghang salamat for joining and supporting our show. And catch us every 8 p.m. on Mondays, and we'll have replays every Friday at the same time, the same channel, that's Channel 6 Field Products. And there will be another replay Saturday, 2 p.m. Don't forget to support us on our YouTube account. It's #Silliman. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell button to be updated whenever we have new uploads. We're also on Facebook. It's still #Silliman. See you next episode, and God bless you. Bye, guys!